Hi everyone, Sam here, and welcome back to the Regenerative Business Podcast. So today we're going to talk about the upward spiral of momentum. And if you read my book, Regenerative Business, then you first heard me talk about that topic there. I originally heard this concept from a teacher of mine who does energy work, and she was talking about the upward spiral of momentum in reference to when you just had a really big success, taking one more tiny step from there, because the energy can actually help you keep going upwards, versus what usually happens with people is right after a big win, like you just hit a big goal or you just had a big launch, it's now time for a break. And so if you're watching on YouTube, you can see my hands. So, okay, we have this amazing goal that's hit, and then we take a break, and then, okay, next big goal or big launch, and then a break. And it becomes more like a squiggle, a squiggly line, versus if you just have a big launch and then you take one more step towards your next level, that can actually create momentum to keep going upwards, versus having to generate your own energy and momentum starting from after a break. You're just going off of the energy and the momentum of the recent success. But when I'm talking about the upward spiral of momentum today, this was actually phase 4 in the Radical Riches pathway. So there's 5 total phases, the last one being Radical Riches, but phase 4 is the upward spiral of momentum, which we're going to be really clear on today. And this entire podcast was inspired by someone who is in the Regenerative Business ecosystem, my new all access membership. And when she came in, I have people fill out an entrance survey. And she wrote that she was around $60,000 per year in her online business. And then she joined one of my courses. This was before even joining the membership. And she did half of it. And she immediately started making pretty much triple. So making over $100,000 in a 6-month period versus $60,000 in an entire year. And first of all, I was just so freaking excited. I love getting feedback like that, because I have so many students that just don't tell me, and it isn't until like I poke at them or I invite them to share that I hear these like fucking insane stories. I'm like, are you kidding me? Why didn't you tell me this already? But she wrote that she desires to be at $300,000 years. So she's on track to be $200,000 this year, but she wants to be at $300,000 a year with more time and more overflow. So that's essentially scaling up and having more passive income. And she also, in addition to that, wants to be the person for her unique thought leadership, like Netflix special level known in her unique industry, her unique field. So when I was sending her personalized onboarding audio for people who join the membership, they get that. I was kind of just diving into the different components needed for a scaled up, more passive business that also is building up reputation. And I just wanted to share that with you, all of you today, because these different elements of a regenerative business ecosystem, they work together to make a resilient, thriving, more and more fertile, more and more abundant ecosystem year after year. It's not just one component we're tweaking. We're tweaking different and working on different elements that are actually working together. So first of all, let's actually talk about that upward spiral of momentum that is within the Radical Riches pathway. So for those watching on YouTube, you can see my lovely little visual here. So this is the upward spiral of momentum. If we look on, and for those listening on the podcast, imagine a full circle spiral. Now on the left side in our starting point, we start with expanded visibility. This is us or our business or our team intentionally increasing visibility. When we have increased visibility, assuming you're amazing at what you do, and I do assume you're amazing at what you do, it will naturally lead to more demand. And of course, there's other elements in expanded visibility where you want to be sharing thought leadership. You want to be intentional with the messaging you use. You want to actually be creating different worlds and realities through your writing. You want to be demonstrating your expertise while also being found, being known by more and more people. Expanded visibility. Now that leads to, if we circle up towards the top of our spiral, that naturally leads to more demand. And when we have more demand, it requires better delivery. Better delivery could be an expanded product suite with more scalable offers. It can be systematizing. It can be automating more. It can be expanding our team. A lot of options over in better delivery. Now, better delivery naturally leads to more capacity. You're able to serve more people and you have more time. So when you have more capacity, it leaves space for expanded visibility. Now we're back. Now, this upward spiral of momentum, when I talk within the Radical Riches pathway, this isn't a single phase, and it's not something that we're actually trying to get out of as quickly as possible. I was making very high multiple six figures year after year while spiraling through the upward spiral of momentum in my business. Like, you can have lots of profit, you can have lots of space, you can have lots of time, you can have lots of overflow while you're in this upward spiral of momentum. And usually you're going to spiral through this at least 3 times before we actually get to the next phase, which is Radical Riches. But you can see how this is a natural flow, right? We expand our visibility, it leads to more demand, it requires better delivery. So we either grow our team or systematize or templatize or expand our product suite. And that better delivery leads to more capacity, which leaves space for expanded visibility, and on and on. So if your desire is, like this client's example, scaling up your business with lots of pleasure and ease, your business needs increased capacity. Not you increasing your capacity. Of course, increasing your nervous system capacity is rarely a bad idea, but we need to increase the capacity of your business. So we're looking at 3 different areas here. First, we want to look at our sales system. So how can we systematize and automate sales? The second is our delivery system. How can we systematize and automate delivery? Not completely, unless you want to. And that is going to give capacity for ramping up visibility. Now, of course, we can systematize, automate visibility as much as we want. But if we remember back to the client's desire, it is to be this whole next level of reputation where she is a known name. Her methodology has millions of people knowing about it. It gets mainstream. She needs to offload as much of the sales system and the delivery system as she is comfortable with so that she can spend more time expanding her visibility channels. So more capacity within her business equals your larger capacity to grow with visibility because you're in this upward spiral of momentum. So for systematizing and or automating sales, for the most part, we are looking at funnels and we are looking at launches. Funnels is leaning more into the automation side, where we have these systems set up, automated emails going out, usually ads are running, but we have the sales system set up so that when more people enter into the funnel or see your work, take their first step in, they will keep walking the path deeper and deeper into your business ecosystem. And of course, funnels are not completely passive. You or someone on your team needs to be looking at metrics on a consistent basis. Sometimes they work right on the get-go. I've had plenty of clients just set up a funnel and it has these crazy 10 to 20x return on ad spends right out the gate. But sometimes it can take months to do these subtle tweaks to have a funnel be profitable and then very profitable. Now on the more systematized side, we're looking at launches, time-bound promotions that are usually public around programs that can happen monthly or quarterly or annually. And a lot of people aren't thinking about systematizing launches, but it's such a great way to increase your capacity, where you do your first launch, you do your first promotion around a specific program, and then the next time you launch, when you relaunch, you're able to use everything that was created in the first launch, and you can just run it again like that. Like, the system is done, it worked. Or you can start tweaking it. Like, okay, well, how can I make the sales page better? Or what messaging was missing from the last launch that I can add in now? Do I want to up-level the visuals? Do I want to use photos from a new photo shoot? Do I need to add in testimonials from the people who went through the last round? Can I highlight client case studies? But all of this gets to be icing on top because we have this foundation of success from the first launch. Okay, so that's systematizing and automating sales. Those are the main levers that we can play with there. Next is systematizing and automating delivery. So this can start very, very simple, where you have templated emails that you send out, where, okay, you have 3 months of live calls within this online course. You hand that over to your virtual assistant, a template of the live call reminders and the replay emails to send out the replay, and that person takes it off of your plate. They take the template and they schedule everything out for you. This can be your team doing more for you. It could also be hiring support coaches within a program. Or if you do done-for-you services, hiring a larger team, hiring managers. This can also be running the same program over and over again instead of creating new online courses or new offers every single year? Like, what if you only got to do one new program per year, or even less? There are tons of 7 and 8+ figure online businesses that have their set programs that they launch and they have funnels to every single year. That has systematized their delivery. Those programs have built up a reputation on their own. It helps it sell themselves. You don't have to be creating new material. The videos already exist. The modules already exist. The course is already set up where it is. And then another example of this is often with this upward spiral of momentum, you may need to think about creating more scalable offers. So if you do one-to-one coaching with someone right now or done for you services, one way of making that scalable is to hire people to do the service for you or hire support coaches. But another way is to create scalable offers. So this could be transitioning from one-to-one coaching to doing masterminds, or not transitioning into, but adding that on. Or if you do group programs right now, can this be a scaled up online course where hundreds of people can join? Or even beyond that, is this a workshop that thousands of people can attend, or a book that hundreds of thousands of people can read? This isn't to say that you need to build out this massive product suite, but usually with each spiral up in the upward spiral of momentum, you get an invitation of how can I make this part of my business, the delivery part of my business, more systematized and automated. And sometimes that is expanding your product suite with more scalable offers. Okay, then our third element is this visibility element. Maybe you don't have the same desire as this client example where she wants millions of people knowing about her work level of visibility. Okay, great. Usually there needs to be some sort of visibility growth with this upward spiral of momentum because, again, if we remember that diagram, more visibility leads to more demand, which requires better delivery, which gives you more capacity for expanded visibility. So with the client example, we are opening up as many visibility channels as possible. Not all at once, but one at a time. We're working through, how do we get you PR? How do we ramp up ad spend? Can we cold pitch someone to get a Netflix special? But if you're not going for that massive scale up, you can be actually thinking about lower lift visibility channels. So maybe that is just repurposing more social media content and making social media, if that's your visibility channel of choice, how do we make that easier for you? But recognize there are 3 entire other categories of visibility. We have being Googleable, or leaning into search engine optimization, thinking about all of the different platforms and choosing one of the many different platforms to be searchable. We have other people's people. So that could be joint venture partnerships. That can be being featured on online magazines. That can be doing affiliate programs. It can be cold pitching. And then the third one, paying for visibility. So ads, Meta ads, Google ads, Pinterest ads, commercials on the radio, on the TV. I don't know. Depends on your demographic and your industry. Ads in the newspaper, paying for more eyes on your work. And of course, if you want to learn more about these, definitely make sure you check out 10x visibility without social media. This is a really epic free video training that I release once a year. Thousands of people have signed up for it at this point and gone through this. So it's this special time of year. If you're listening to this in real time in August 2025, check the link down below for that. But a full video training that's completely free on growing your visibility without social media. Or if you love social media, opening up other channels besides social media so you can actually diversify and not rely on whether the algorithm likes you this year or not. Hopefully with all of this, it's really, really clear to you that there isn't just one hack to grow a business. A lot of people in the online space might make you believe that, oh, if only you just learn this one TikTok thing, or if only you start a podcast, or if only you learn this fancy launch technique, then your business will grow. No. When I talk about a regenerative business ecosystem, I'm not talking about a product suite. We're talking about an entire interconnected network where different elements are working together to create resilience. And of course, there's always right timing where one small tweak can bring you an extra $100,000 this year. But we want to be playing in all of these different elements and understand how they work together. So I hope you loved this lesson on the upward spiral of momentum. If you are in the upward spiral of momentum, please DM me at The Dirty Alchemy and let me know what your biggest takeaway and what you're actually going to take action on this week or this month around this. If you love this episode or you love any of the episodes on the Regenerative Business Podcast, please take a screenshot right now of your podcast app and go share it on Instagram. Make sure to tag me at The Dirty Alchemy. This is such an easy way to support the podcast and get more people to find the podcast and help it grow. So I'd so appreciate that. Definitely check out the free video training, 10x Visibility Without Social Media, if you're listening or watching this in real time. It's that special time of year where it's going to expire at the end of the month, but you have free access to it right now, and you have a great week.